everyone! So I was recently asked in another video, what was my experience at DigiPen? Before I say anything, I just want to make it clear that this is just my opinion. Every person who goes to college has a different experience based on their goals, based on their gender, based on their financial situation, based on if they want to work part-time while going to school. There are so many different variables. I'm not going to try to sway you to go or not go to DigiPen. That in the end is your decision. But I am assuming in this video that you want to go to art college and you want to go to art college specifically for game art. Digipen Institute of Technology is an accredited private school located in Redmond, Washington. They're best known for preparing their students to get in the game industry. It's a game college. They offer degrees in real-time interactive simulation, computer science, game design, engineering, sound design, and digital art and animation. They also have masters in both digital art and computer science. They also offer workshops for both middle school and high school students called Project Fun workshops. And those are available online during the summer, and they also have year-round programs for Project Fun. Quick note, I actually taught one of the Project Fun classes for middle school students. That was fun. So let's be real, I graduated from DigiPen 5 years ago. That's a long time ago, and lots of things have changed since then. Professors have left, and new professors have replaced them. Classes have been added, and assignments have been taken away. So please take this experience with a grain of salt. It's not going to be the same. I started going to DigiPen in 2007 and graduated with a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Production Animation in 2011. Production Animation changed to digital art and animation after I left school, and that's because not all game artists are animators, so makes sense. My decision to go to DigiPen was pretty simple for me. Basically, I wanted to be an animator. I really loved Disney animation and Pixar animation, but I didn't really want to move to California where living prices are really high to go to an art school that was super expensive. So I looked in the Seattle area because it's the area I grew up in. There were only a few colleges that offered programs like animation, and DigiPen definitely had the best program for the least amount of money. So I applied and got in. The application process was very simple. You're supposed to submit a portfolio, and I think you're supposed to type an essay as well, hand in your grades and all that stuff that you have to do for any accredited college. And then I also visited the school, I showed them my portfolio, and it was pretty simple for me to get in. My parents were actually really nervous. I was the first kid, and I was gung-ho for going to art school. And they were like, oh shit. Like, my kid is not going to make any money, my kid is going to get into tons of debt and just not be able to pay it off. Both of my parents, like my dad was from the military, he was a salesman afterward, and my mom was super frugal, so it was a little bit nerve-wracking for them. However, DigiPen was different because they saw that there's a lot of technical skill involved in 3D animation. And so that really helped calm their nerves about me getting a job outside of school, and was kind of why they helped me a little bit through school, which I'm really grateful for, and not everyone has that experience. At the time, the school was really small. It's still really small. It's like a very, very tiny building right now. But before, it had 2 campuses. There's the main campus, which is where all of the programmers and engineers had their classes, and that was connected to Nintendo of America and had like a 7-Eleven in front, so the Programmers would just eat 7-Eleven all day. There's also an art campus, which was around like a mile or two away down the hill. And it was like in one of these like, you know, like businessy areas. And it was just like in the top floor of this small building. It kind of sucked to be apart from the programmers, even though the programming campus kind of stinks sometimes. But yeah, and we had like little vending machine was the food that was available on campus, and so there weren't many amenities, but I mean, we had computers, we had classrooms, we had everything we kind of needed, so it worked out. My senior year, they combined the campuses to a new main campus that had room enough for everyone. I don't know if it still has room for everyone now that they added new programs, but it was a lot better. There was a cafeteria. It's a really nice campus. If you're thinking about going to DigiPen, you should definitely visit. Redmond is a nice city. They now offer student apartments. They didn't when I went. I had to find my own roommates, and they had like a system that would connect students together. Redmond's like a medium-sized town. It's where Microsoft is, so most people living there work for Microsoft or other tech companies in the area. It can be a little bit expensive on the east side, but there are places that you can go that are cheap, and especially if you live with roommates, it should be okay. The first part of DigiPen is mostly 2D, so they want to build your basic art skills before showing you 3D programs. So if you're going to DigiPen specifically for 3D art and you're not too inclined towards 2D, get ready to draw. You are going to draw every single day, all day, for a long time. This includes a lot of life drawing classes, so you're going to be in front of naked people. It also includes 2D animation classes. It includes film classes as well. There are also Gen Ed classes that are framed toward animation. So instead of history class, you have art history class. And instead of biology class, you'll have animal anatomy or human anatomy. It was a lot of work. It was tons of work. We were drawing hundreds of drawings every week, and that was before our homework for our Gen Ed classes. Having a part-time job at DigiPen would have been impossible, for me at least. So if you are planning to have a part-time job, DigiPen really discourages it unless you are on the 5-year program. Once you hit around second semester of sophomore year, then they start introducing 3D programs. This is kind of where it fell apart for me. It was very difficult. I think at the time they were trying to like smooth out the kinks in the 3D program. They had some good teachers. They had some teachers who were kind of misses. For a school that boasted about getting people into the game industry, it was really difficult for me to get on a game team and to find time to work on a game. I had to work on a game in the summer, and it was kind of part of one class, but yeah, it was really difficult. I think because a lot of the teachers have traditional animation backgrounds, they focused on that a little bit more than game backgrounds, and I think it might be different now. I think they've gone through the program a few times and have learned that getting students on game teams is very important for their portfolios. I did get on a game team during my junior year, and that was great to show potential employers. So if you do want a school that gets you on game teams and kind of helps you through the sort of weird process of making a game, DigiPen would be a great choice. So after junior year, which was a nightmare for me, I had to choose what I wanted to specialize in. They don't exactly say choose what you specialize in, but this is the time where they allow you to choose what classes you want to take a little bit more. So I was kind of weighing the pros and cons of 2D art and 3D animation. I really liked animating, but overall, I didn't want to work in a 3D program, so I decided to choose 2D art, which is known for being really difficult. But I decided to go for it, whatever. And so I ended up going with 2D art and then taking classes at DigiPen that were more focused on that. So I took traditional painting classes, concept art classes, some like portfolio painting classes, and that was really great. During this time, DigiPen has lots of career days, portfolio days, stuff to bring companies to DigiPen students and say, hey, we are looking for positions, we are looking for interns, we are looking for this and that. You know, apply, talk to us. So I was going to a bunch of these industry days, and I went to one for a company that was like a really, really small mobile games company. They invited me for a playtest, and that turned into an interview, and then I got an internship from that. So thanks, DigiPen, for bringing us together. So when I graduated, I had an internship, and that turned into a full-time position, which is great. And we graduated, our class had around 30 students, the art class. And I think we started with like 80 to 100. It's somewhere around there. So there's a huge drop-off. There are so many reasons that people dropped off, and a lot of them were valid. DigiPen is expensive. It's a private school. They want your money. So lots of people had financial difficulties that kept them from finishing the program. There are also people who just said, hey, DigiPen isn't for me. DigiPen isn't for my goals that I want. I want to work in X, and DigiPen wants me to work in Y. And that's other students decided to switch from the 4-year program to the 5-year program so they could have more time and space it out, which is really smart. We were taking tons of credits, and for those 4 years, I was just, DigiPen was my life. Like, I ate, slept, lived, breathed DigiPen. Overall, I say I had a good time at DigiPen. It was fun. The workload prepared me for the worst of the game industry, so I just crunched all the time, and now I'm really happy because crunch time really doesn't come that often, and when it does, I'm ready. It also gave me the opportunity to work on game teams and a general education for both 2D and 3D animation production. Would I do it again? Probably. Yes, knowing what I know now, if I had to go back to 2007, I would probably go to DigiPen again. If, however, I had to make the decision today, in 2016, would I choose to go to DigiPen? Maybe. The program has since raised its tuition 30%. I don't know if they've done it again, but it's a lot more expensive than when I went to DigiPen, so that's that. For me, the question of art school is a bigger question. Like, should I go to art school if I'm looking to become an artist in the game industry? And that is another video entirely, because there's so much that goes into that. But if you are in Seattle and you want to get into games and you know you're going to pay for art school, like you can afford it, DigiPen might be a great choice for you. Thank you for watching, and I hope that was informational. I hope you got something out of it. So yeah, if you have any more questions, please ask. I would love to answer any of them. Bye!